Bitcoin news today, and a fun fact as to why Bitcoin is better. The news actually is not with Bitcoin today, it's with the U.S. government. The national debt of the United States government has officially surpassed $3 billion per day of interest expenditure. So on average, every day now, the United States of America is paying $3 billion of interest on our debt. That's not including the debt, that's obviously not including any future debt. And to me, as I always say about how we have less in common with the near future than the past, I think the important thing to understand is that the real problem with America's debt is not the debt. The real problem is that the majority of dollars ever to exist are in front of us, not behind us. This has been true every period in American history. This was true in 1779, when the national debt of the United States was under $50 million. This was true at the Civil War. This was true at the beginning of World War I. This is true after World War II. This was true 10 years ago. It's true today. And it's going to be true 10, 20, 30 years from now. We're paying $3 billion a day, but the real question is, at what point are we paying $30 billion a day? Probably that's many years, if not a decade away or longer, but $3 billion is a lot of money. For context, with 21 million Bitcoin, that is $142 per Bitcoin per day. Okay, hopefully it's a little bit of context, but just based on that alone, just based on the interest payments, not the debt of America, not the unfunded liabilities of America, which that amount is actually 6 times greater than the national debt, not the debt of China, not the debt of the European Union, not the debt of the rest of the world, just America's interest alone, daily on the debt, right now, is $142 per Bitcoin, right? But that's obviously not including any kind of multiplier. That's, obviously disingenuously conservative. My point is that is the insustainability of the dollar. And the fun fact with Bitcoin, I suppose, to be a little bit more optimistic, is that back in 2010, 2011, when Bitcoin was anywhere from 6 cents to $30, many people look back at those early days of Bitcoin, 2010, 11, 12, 13, and salivate. They have regrets, they have frustrations. Dang it, I heard my friend talk about it at $1, I wish I bought. Or dang it, I saw it at $25, I wish I bought $25,000 worth of Bitcoin. I would have had 1,000 coins and I would have been rich, right? But the reality is, if we're talking about market caps, which I am when it comes to the, $142, right? If the market cap of Bitcoin was $3 billion, one Bitcoin would be worth $142, essentially, right? Long story short. So my point is, the fun fact with Bitcoin is that at one point, the entire market cap of Bitcoin was single-digit millions of dollars. It was single-digit tens of millions of dollars. Theoretically, if you invested $1 million back in those early days when the whole market cap of the asset was $10 million, theoretically, you could have bought 1/10 of all the Bitcoins at the time, which, of course, at the time, there were only 10 to 13 million coins or so, because so few had been mined, we were barely one halving in. And so my point in saying all that is that we got to keep in mind, at one point, the market cap of Bitcoin was tiny. It was tiny. It was insignificant. It was mere millions of dollars, single-digit millions of dollars. And so it is incredibly unlikely you would have ever bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin when its entire market cap was $1 million. Okay, that's 1% of the entire market cap. It's incredibly unlikely you would have done it. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably didn't do it. And if it gives you any comfort, pretty much nobody else did it at the same time because nobody else knew, right? And so if we then, instead of looking backwards in the past, look forward to the future, at what point will people in the future be looking back and saying, dang, can you believe the market cap of Bitcoin was only $1 trillion at some point? Can you believe that way back in the past, there were people that were stacking Bitcoin when its market cap was under $1 trillion? Man, those people were so early. They were so lucky, right? So yeah, you didn't buy Bitcoin when the market cap was under $1 million. You probably didn't buy Bitcoin when the market cap was under $1 billion, because that would have been, what would that have been, like $70 or so, right? You didn't buy it when it was $1 billion. But many of you, probably most of you, did buy Bitcoin when it was under $1 trillion market cap, right? Most of you did buy it when it was $1 trillion market cap, because right now we're only about 1.3, 1.4 trillion. So if you were buying in late 2021 and 2022 and early 2023, right? If you were buying in those years, or if you were buying before 2021, right? 2018, 2019, 2020. If you were buying in those years, you were buying it significantly below a $1 trillion market cap. And so when will Bitcoin hit a $1 quadrillion market cap? It's going to take a long time, okay? In real terms, it's going to take a very long time. In nominal terms, it's also going to take a long time, but probably not nearly as long as we would like to admit. Why? because the debasement of the US dollar is exponential. Okay, Bitcoin's price in adoption terms will not follow an exponential forever, right? Maybe it'll follow Power law, maybe it'll follow Metcalfe's law, maybe it'll follow some other aspect of diminishing returns, right? As the adoption curve eventually in the future slows down. We have a long way to go for multiple decades until it does begin to significantly slow down. But that's just the reminder that the debasement of the US dollar is exponential. It will always be exponential because it has to be exponential because we cannot pay the interest on the debt. The interest is already insolvent to the tune of $3 billion every single day. So every day you see one of these little Bitcoin news updates, please like and subscribe and do all the wonderful things. And just keep in mind that at minimum, between this video and the next one and the next one, every single time, we're talking about an extra $3 billion that the United States has had to pay or print or raise more debt for to pay that we are never getting back. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow and $3 billion later.